Hi everyone, so welcome to part one of connecting Power BI with Excel. So I have prepared some dummy data or sample data for you. Okay, so this is a very simple database or records, which is, for example, a training records. So basically it's just the dates, the record of dates of each employee participate in different types of trainings, and also some spending, okay, and also the course and how they classify as whether it is a soft skill or technical skill and something like this. So very basics Excel, okay. For some of you who are familiar with Excel, maybe the fastest way to analyze this data, some of you may use a pivot table, because pivot table is very simple. You spend just a few minutes and you can create your report and a dashboard. Okay. And for some of you may be thinking about long-term reporting modules that you can actually create a stunning reports and also share it to a cloud service and then share it automatically to any relevant stakeholders. Okay, so in this case, you may thinking about the business intelligence software such as Power BI and other alternatives. So therefore, in this video, we are talking about how we can connect this database into Power BI and also some basics step on cleaning this data, because normally this data is not 100% clean data, and of course not all data are clean, so it's depend on the user. Okay, so in this case, for example, skill classifier, you may see that okay, soft skill will fall into a different aspects. Okay, one is soft skill like this and another one is like this, so you can actually do it in Excel very quickly just to clean it. Okay, okay, just drag it this way. Okay, simple. But cleaning in Excel is obviously simple, but it's not good enough, because at some point, someone who input this data may repeat the same mistakes, and then you have to clean it again, clean it again, clean it again every times. But instead, you clean it using Power Queries or the options that is available in Power BI. So let's see how we can do it. Okay. So this file, I put it into my folders that I call it a dummy folder. So essentially, it's a folders that I put all my dummy data into it to create some kind of data for training purposes. Okay. So let's launch Power BI. Okay. So if you have the same version like me, you will see similar interface or exactly the same interface. But if you use the older versions, you may not see this pane here, okay? Or if you use the latest version, you may have a different one, okay? So it is easy to actually connect Excel to Power BI, because you can see the option is available here, because it's obviously the most case that we import the data into Power BI and the database in Excel formats. Okay, but instead we have also other options such as SQL Server in case that you import the data from the database in the server. Okay, or many other types of database that you can explore in Get Data here. So there are many alternatives. It could be Excel, it could be SQL, it could be text, it could be web, it could be many. You can click on more options and you will see a bunch of lists available in terms of various database that you can connect to Power BI. But most of the case we connect with Excel. So how can we do it? Just click on Excel here. So that is one option. And then the option is you can click on field here. You can see here load, you haven't loaded any data yet because we just allow in your Power BI, so no data available there yet. So you can click on get data here, okay. Or the third option is import data from Excel, okay. So either the first option, second option, or the third option, okay, it's your call, which one you are convenient with it, okay, just do it, okay. So let me try the most obvious case, okay, get data, Excel, and then I navigate, okay, I navigate into the folders that I want to connect my data, okay. So I know that it is in my dummy folder, so I click on it, okay. So we have a bunch of data that is available for use, okay. But the one that I'm interested in is a dummy training data for Power BI. So I click on that one, I click on opens, okay, wait a few seconds. So there is another window pop up, okay. So actually in our Excel file, there are several spreadsheets, okay. There are several sheets over there. So there's sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, something like this. So what you want is just try to display which one that you want. Or if you remember that, oh, okay, it is the first one, just take the first one, okay. But if you're also interested in second one, just take on it. But second one may be just a summary that you are not interested in, okay. So basically to perform analysis, we need the raw data, okay. So click on the raw data, which is sheet 1, okay. I click on, there are two options, either you use load or transform, but in this case I recommend everyone to use transform, not load, because if you use load, it means your data is already clean and you don't have to do anything and just load it and perform analysis. But most of the case, the data are not well structured, so there will be some requirement on cleaning the data as either few step or several step, okay. So have a look at it. So I click on transform the data. It takes few seconds to pop up another window, which is a Power Query Editors, which is a very powerful tool that we can use to clean our data. And the good thing is that it's remember every step that we clean our data. Okay. It doesn't touch our original database. So it just import that data into Power BI and then into Power Query Editors. And then we can use various options that is available to perform the data cleaning process, and also make sure that it's remember all the steps that you have done, and then you don't have to repeat your step again and again next time, okay. So very simple, we have a look at this data and we can see that when we import Excel data into Power BI, the Power Query editors will pick the first row as the title. So you can see that, okay, advisor develop training, something like this, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, which is obviously not what we want, okay. And then we have a look what else that we don't want, okay. You can see that in row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, and row number 4 are all blanks, okay. If you look at your Excel data, you can see that, okay, row from number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are all blanks, okay. But sorry, the first two are not blank, but not what we want. But you know that the first row is picked by Power BI and considered as the header or the field, okay. So there are 4 left, which are the rows that we don't want, okay. So what we do is very simple. We don't touch in our Excel. So what we do is we go to our Power Query editors, and then we have the option remove row, and click on remove top row, okay. So I remove 4 row, click OK. So then the first 4 row, okay, are removed. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Okay, what are we gonna do is we have a look at the first row and we see that, oh, that is the title that we want. So in Power BI, there's an option use first row as header. Okay, so that is the things that we need to do, because normally when you import Excel data into Power BI, just make sure that these field names are not column 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this. It has to be the names of the header of your record or database. So what you're gonna do is you use the option here, first row as header. Okay, so few seconds you will see that, okay, dates, employee ID, names, positions, so they are promoted to be the header. Okay, or technically speaking we call it field, okay, in database. Okay, so in each field, this is date field, this is employee ID, this is name, this is positions, okay, this is gender. And then we have to go to another few process to clean up this data. Okay, so have a look at column 18, 19, and 20. So these are not the things that you are interested in. Okay, they just null. So what you do is you can right click on it and remove it one by one, or another way is just select both of them and then click remove column. Okay, so what you're gonna do is to remove the column that you are not interested in. Okay, for example, if you have all employee IDs, then you should keep it, but if you don't have all of them, you can remove it. Okay. But what if you want it back in some day? Okay, very simple. What you're gonna do is here just to cross the step that you remove it, it's come back. Okay, here it is. So you can take it back anytime you want to. Okay, but in this case, I want to remove it. Okay, because we don't want to have a lot of data that something that is not necessary for analysis, so we don't need it, so just remove it. Okay, so what else? So for example, in the skill classifies, we know that there will be some soft and technical, but there will be some error in terms of input, because some input has space, some input doesn't. Okay, so what we're gonna do in Power BI is very simple. We have the option here. You go to right click and then you go to transform and you have the option trims. Okay, so trim is essentially to remove something that is not need. Okay, for example, space. Okay, the space that you don't need. So when you use the function trim, it will remove automatically. Okay, simple. So use trim. Okay. Okay, very simple. So what else you gonna do? Okay. Here it is. Okay, what else? I think that's it. Okay. So the next thing you're gonna do is make sure that you rename this database. And the name should be something meaningful and easy to remember. So for example, this table is the record of the training and development record. So what you're gonna call it, you can call it anything, but for me, I like to call it TBL training record. Okay, and then push enter, boom. So the name change here. Okay, so after you think that you're good to go, you're good to go. Okay, so in Excel, as you know that it will considers um, it will consider 0 as null. Okay, okay, so remember, for example, 18, 19, and 20, if you don't need it, just remove it. Okay, remove. So remove, this one has been trimmed. So it seems that we are good to go. Then you can hit on close and apply. Okay. It takes few seconds. Then you will see your data is imported into Power BI under the field panes. Okay. Okay, ready? So you can see here. So right now we have only one database called TBL training records. And there are several fields down here that is rearranged in an alphabetical orders. Okay, very simple. Okay, so you can try just few visualization. I just give you some sample because we're going to go uh, for another video that related to how you create visualization and create measure in Power BI. Okay, so for basic and intermediate user, you don't need to use programming language to use Power BI. Okay, but if you are advanced user, you need some programming language, of course. Okay, so have a look at some of the options available. Okay, for example, I just want to know how much we spend on training totally. Okay, very simple. I just pick one of the most popular visualization that is called cart. Okay, and then I just go and click on my visual and then drag the total cost. Okay, total training cost. I can drag it here into the field. Okay, so it's give me the result of 305K. Or another word, I can just go and tick it here. So the same thing, you get the results. Okay, so this is a cumulative results for all department, for all entities. But if you're interested in seeing each individual of them, then slicer is needed. So you go and click on slicer. Okay, you have a slicer here, put it at the left hand side, most likely. Okay, so you pick the entities. Here it is. Oh, so there are 5 different entities in our database. So you can try to click, for example, at advice at Cambodia. Oh, it's only 70K. Indonesia, 57. Laos, okay, 57. Myanmar, 51. Thailand, okay, 70. So this is just example, okay. But probably you are not only interested in seeing on the entities level, but also department level. So the same thing, we can just go and pick a slicer, okay, make it a little bit bigger, and then you choose department. Okay, so here it is. You get what you want. Okay, if I click on advice at Cambodia, 70K, and then I click on advice at bubble tea. Oh, okay, it's only 7K, let's say. Okay, if I click on advice at soups, okay, 8K. See that? So very simple. So it's far better than using Excels that you have kind of the same interaction, similar interactions, but it's not that easy like this one. Okay, so highly recommend to use Power BI. Okay, so this is how you can do it. What else you gonna do it? Okay, for example, you are interested in how many hours that you spend on training. Okay, just pick a card, put it somewhere here. Okay, make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and then training is hours training you are interested in. Okay, oh, 150K, 150,000 hours of training. Oh, a lot. Okay, so this is what you can do. So what else you can do? For example, you interested in how many courses that you have conducted on the training. Okay, totally. So we can do the same thing, just pick a card. Okay, make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and then find the course, training course. Okay, So if you click on it, by default, it's return the first training course, but that's not what you want. So what you can do is click on this arrow and you will see some options available. Because it is a text record, then you can use count or count distinct. Okay, count distinct, it means it's gonna evaluate only unique values and count it. Okay, so in this case, for example, you can DAX non, for example, HR for non-HR professional courses. Okay, so there will be, for example, 25 participants. If you use count, it's gonna return 25. But if you use count distinct, it's gonna return only one, because that is only one course. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna use distinct count. Okay, so 59 training course. Okay, so you can try and see, slice and dice it, and then you will see the interaction, and very, very easy. Very, very easy. Okay, so what else you want to do? Okay, probably you want to change the names. For example, this one hours of training, this one total training course, this one you want to call it numbers of training course. Okay, so you can just click on this arrow and rename the visual. Okay, so I can replace it as numbers. Okay, so I can just put this sign, which means numbers. Okay, a training course. Okay, or maybe I shall put an S. Okay, training courses. So here it is. So it's look better. Okay, so what else you want to do? Okay, probably you want to visualize based on, okay, um, maybe you are interested in which department spend the most on training, okay, or which entities, it depends on you. Okay, or probably you want to see the spending between technical skill and soft skill. Okay, for example, so in this case you can use a pie chart. Okay, let's try a pie chart, and then you drag skill classify into legends. Okay, and total training course into the value field. Okay, okay, here it is. So it show you, oh, a lot of spending is on soft skill. Okay, so some company would do so. Okay, and in this case, technical skill is a little bit not much. Okay, probably because this is a service based company, so that's why soft skill is very important for them. So they spend a lot of money on soft skill instead of technical skill. Okay, it's just a simulated data. It's not a real one. Okay, and you can also change this title as well. Okay, go to title. Okay, and then okay, you can just call it by skill classify. Okay, and if you want to make it center, you can do it this way. You want to make it bigger, okay, just resize it. It's depend on you. Okay, here it is. Ooh, okay, so this is one of the visual. Okay, that's called a pie chart. Okay, so what else we can do? Okay, probably you want to know uh, the numbers of hours that we spend the most on which um, departments, maybe. Okay, so you use a tree maps. Okay, let's say, so try a tree maps, and then you, okay, drag the department into the groups. Okay, or just click on it and drag the hours of training into values. Okay, so you see the tree maps. So you spend a lot on XYZ pizza. Okay, and then you can try to enable data label, so you can see how much you spend it here. Okay, very simple. Okay, so you can try slide and dice. Okay, so the results, the visual change automatically. Very, very easy. Okay. So what else can you do with this? There are a lot of things that you can do it, but I think in this video, we are focused on only connecting the data with Power BI. So I think we can finish from now and wait for the part 2 video that we're going to understand more on what can we do with Power BI in terms of business analytics. Okay, thank you.